with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a goodbye with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
My reason why is community.
My reason why is leadership.
My reason why is to inspire others.
Why do thousands of teenagers here in South Dakota participate in high school sports and activities?
My reason why is friendship.
Their reasons are as diverse as the students themselves. But the one thing they all share is the opportunity to have fun and learn important life lessons. Lessons like supporting their community, learning how to be a leader, and building lifelong friendships.
My reason why is defying expectations.
Is there a grade school or middle school student in your family? Then encourage them to participate in a sport or activity when they go to high school.
My reason why is to make a change in the world.
This message presented by the NFHS and the South Dakota High School Activities Association.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
And here's what you need to know.
Tonight in Minneapolis, it's Game 2 of the Western Conference semifinal series between the Warriors and Timberwolves. Warriors up 1-0 in the second round. Warriors guard Steph Curry, though, out tonight with his hamstring strain. They'll tip it off again in Minneapolis at 8:30 Eastern Time. This afternoon in Minneapolis.
Here's a pitch. Swung on a miss, he struck him out, and you can break out the broom as the Twins sweep the Orioles. 1, 2, and 3, they fall against Joan Durant in the ninth. A gutty 5-2 win, and the Minnesota Twins take 3 in a row from the Orioles. They've won 5 straight overall.
On the Twins Radio Network, doing so right across the street from Target Center. Another day baseball, the Red Sox blanked the Rangers at Fenway 5-0. Royals 10-0 winners against the White Sox today, while the Tigers took game 1 of a doubleheader against the Rockies 10-2. Tigers great Chet Lemon passed away at the age of 70. Pirates fired manager Derek Shelton. Stanley Cup playoffs tonight, Canes and Caps, Oilers and Golden Knights. I'm Dan Byer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, good Thursday afternoon. Are we ready to go? We are ready to go. I'm ready to go. How about you? Thanks for being here. South Dakota Sports Talk Show's back and ready. It is the Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Radio. Best lineup of sports talk, no doubt, and we try and get you covered from South Dakota to the national scene. Let's get going today. It's always a great day in South Dakota. Welcome in. The Nate Brown Show streaming right now on X at Nate Brown Show, so a reminder you can watch the show there. Welcome in studio. At Nate Brown Show on X. Follow the show and watch us. And then on YouTube, thanks for subscribing to the channel. If you're a YouTube guy, The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Live stream is up and ready right now. Thursday edition of the program. You bet. Let's get popping tonight. Great guest lineup. You know what happens Thursday. Thursday happy hour with the great Rob Kagron today. Rob Kagron was on Mad Dog's show on Sirius XM earlier. And now we got the great Rob Kagron in hour number 2. You better believe it. South Dakota Sports Talk Show with Happy Hour coming up every Thursday with our guest host, Rob Kagron. So a lot to cover with him in the second hour. A little double hitter for Rob today on the National Mad Dog Sports Radio and now the Nate Brown Show. You can't get any better than that, Rob. So he is coming in. Let's look at the guest lineup, tell you who's coming up. Hang tight. Craig Maddock is on the way. SDPB Sports. East River and West River hitter with Craig Maddock live. SDPB Sports, longtime South Dakota broadcaster. You know Craig. You love Craig. He's in. National college football writer tonight, Zach Barnett, is on footballscoop.com. A lot to hit with him. Then we'll go to the NBA. Haven't talked to Keith Smith for a while. He covers the Celtics. Oh, Keith. He covers the Celtics. He did not make any bets, as far as I know, like walking into work like Paul Pierce did. I don't know if you saw that. Paul Pierce said, Celtics won't lose game 2. They absolutely won't. I'm going to walk into work in L.A. For the show Speak on FS1. Now, the Celtics did lose last night. Paul Pierce was up early this morning. He held his word. Paul Pierce, the former Celtic, walked all the way over 15 miles to the Fox Sports studios. Keith Smith, what's his take on the Celtics down 0-2? He covers the Celtics for Spot Track. NBA analyst front office show is his show on YouTube. Keith Smith live coming up tonight. Thursday's show is packed. It's always a great day in South Dakota. And South Dakota Sports Talk Show inviting you on if you want to be a part of the conversation. 605-720-1067. 605-720-1067. That's the direct studio line powered by the Pizza Ranch. It is the Pizza Ranch hotline, home of everyone's favorite buffet, your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch at 3809 East 10th Street in Sioux Falls, in Brandon, and 2 locations in Rapid City. Call us on the Pizza Ranch hotline, also on the Barron's Wilson text line. Same number. You can text the show. We get those on the app. Text us on the Barron's Wilson text line, 605-720-1067. All right. Thanks for being here. Let's get going with this story. This is one of those things that's going to be a little bit controversial, I think, because everything in life has to be controversial these days. We can't just say, well, maybe this is okay, because this situation brings in politics into sports, which is always a big no-no for me. I've tried really separating that out. You know, we made it kind of a pact here on the Nate Brown Show, especially during the COVID times when things were going crazy. I said, man, we're still trying to have a lighter side of life. I mean, life was tough. So we said, no politics, just sports. Well, politics interweaving with sports as we go. And this one is, again, everything has to be controversial. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but I don't know if people can just stay down the middle of the road. I know, I try to. I actually try to in life. Like, let's think about this side. Let's think about that side. I try to not get stuck in silos. We all have our opinions, but I try to not see, well, you're just out to get me. You're just way wrong. I try and figure out, would this maybe work? And what am I discussing tonight? President Donald Trump is creating a presidential commission to study college athletics. And so they're going to look at NIL, transferring, athlete employment, Title IX. This presidential commission on college sports just named Nick Saban as a co-chair. Okay, so Saban's going to be in this thing. And then a guy named Cody Campbell, he's the Board of Regents chairman for Texas Tech. Had a huge company, like I think he sold his company for over $4 billion, some oil company, and he's a Texas Tech guy, Big 12. Cody Campbell's the co-chair of this presidential commission with Nick Saban. And I bring that up because people say, oh boy, now we got politics in college sports again. And we've had people talk about that on this show. Many of you in the audience say the politicians can't figure this stuff out. And so what I mean by that, I don't think you trust Congress with anything. We should hold our Congress people to a higher standard. I will point that out. Let me not get on a political rant. But why do we never try? Why do we say Congress can't do this, they can't do that, yet we still vote for the same people over and over? we get so mad at them, yet here they are, back for more. Term limits, anyone? But nonetheless, we don't hold them to a high standard. We just say, oh, they'll screw it up. They'll just screw it up. Why can't we take a step back? Will this presidential commission, what does that mean? Well, they're going to add Nick Saban and this Cody Campbell guy who are involved in college athletics, and they're going to put together a commission with more key voices around college sports, and they're going to take a look at what's wrong, what's happening, how can we tweak this and tweak that. Will they come up with some solutions? I don't know, and because in today's world, everybody just hammers stuff. You're either against it or for it. There is no in between. There is no nuance. There is no thinking about it like, well, maybe they'll come up with some ideas. It's just we have to say, well, if this is politics, we're going to just throw it away. And so what I'm telling you today, I'm willing to give it a try. I mean, let's let Nick Saban and Cody Campbell break some things down. I'm interested in it. I'm interested in seeing what they can find, seeing if they can come up with any different ideas. Are you going to say, well, don't you think the NCAA and the conference commissioners have already tried all of this? The ADs and the commissioners and the NCAA, haven't they already tried to figure it out? No, they really haven't. Because they've been hit with lawsuits every other week, and they don't want to do anything. They want somebody to step in federally and create a system. Now, they want to benefit from it. You better believe it. They want to benefit the big boys. So they want the federal government to say, hey, here's the rules. They don't want to lose money on this deal, but they do want a little bit of guidance so they don't get sued anymore. So no, they haven't tried figuring this out. It's like, well, they've come up with this idea. No, all they've done is open up the transfer portal every which way, unlimited this, unlimited that, unlimited NIL. It's just a mess because they're getting sued every other week. And so, can we figure out a new way to approach this? I don't know if these guys are going to get a bunch of answers. Is Nick Saban and Cody Campbell, the two co-chairs of the Presidential Commission on College Sports, going to find us a bunch of answers? I don't know, but let me just say, I'm not going to poo-poo it. I'm not going to hammer it. I'm not going to say, well, this is absolutely bogus. I'm okay with it. I'm a big college sports fan. Let's see what they find out, because I just read the piece from Cody Campbell, this new guy, the co-chair of the commission with Saban. And so I read his piece. I actually liked how he talked. You can find that. I'm not going to read through it all. But he talked about the big dogs are trying to take all the money. And he said, and that's wrong. He said, that's wrong. We got to find a way that players get paid, the big dogs don't have all of the control, and the Olympic sports still get to survive. That's kind of the Cliff Notes version of this Cody Campbell co-chair out of Texas Tech on the new Presidential Commission. So those 3 points I'm with. Players, it's not like they're not going to get paid anymore, but how do we do this system fairly? How do we keep the Olympic sports alive for the swimmer, the gymnast, the whoever? How do we keep that alive in the college sports landscape? Because I think that's important for many, many kids and families. And then how do we stop just the big dogs from controlling 95% of the revenue? And so that's where they're starting. I'm asking you this question of the day because this has been kind of one of those weeks where the Senate was talking about blackouts in pro sports. We've talked about Congress talking to college sports leaders. They haven't gotten anything done. So if you're going to launch a presidential commission and put Saban on it, let's give Saban a chance. Let's give Saban and whoever else is on this a chance. I'm willing to. Nick Saban seems like, you might hate him, but he seems like pretty knowledgeable on the college football landscape. That's just my guess. Do you agree on the Presidential Commission to study college sports? That's our question of the day as we start the Nate Brown Show tonight. I'm okay with it. I'm not here to tell you it's like, oh, everything's going to be fixed. Everything, yes, this is perfect. We're going to know exactly how to do this by the end of this commission. They won't, because they're going to find out this is sticky, muddy, messy. I mean, it's an absolute train wreck. The NCAA, they relinquished this a long time ago. So I don't feel sorry for the NCAA tonight. They relinquished we've thought about this. We've looked at this. They didn't do squat. They saw the NIL stuff coming. They fought. They didn't win. Now they're just out to lunch. So you need somebody else to start really figuring it out because the NCAA is scared. They're very small in this big picture because they're scared of getting sued. They just want to have somebody tell them what to do. They really do. As long as they can keep collecting their paychecks and have a good deal there. They'll run college sports, but please tell us what to do so we don't get sued anymore, because we're just telling people they can do whatever they want, and that's not working. Do you agree on putting together the Presidential Commission to study the current state of college sports? That's my question of the day. I think it's probably, again, whenever you get into a little bit of politics leaking into sports, people get their walls up. People are saying, oh, this is going to be a screw-up. This is going to be a screw-up. And then the other, this is going to solve everything. This is how you do it. I don't think really either of those are true, but I'm willing to let Nick Saban dig into it with Cody Campbell, who I read his stuff today. I liked what he had to say. I thought it was pretty fair. They're going to find out things are pretty ugly. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to figure things out. So what's your answer to that? It's a split audience tonight, at least on Twitter. If you want to be a part of the question of the day, let us know, 605-720-1067. Do you agree it's the Presidential Commission on College Sports to study the current state of college sports? Do you agree with the call? 51% of you say no, they won't solve anything. 49% of you say yes, it's needed. And that's exactly almost what I was expecting. I hate it. No, I love it. And we're almost at 50-50. By the way, I have an answer to this. Do you want the answer? I don't know what they're going to find, but I'll let Nick Saban and Cody Campbell dig into it, and we'll see what they find out. I'm on a fact-finding mission, and if those guys want to dig into stuff, great. But I've already got it's easy. I don't know if we need to do a bunch of months-long research and hearings and everything like that. I can solve it right here. I'm serious. I've got 4 things from the Nate Brown Show on the commission. This is my commission for college sports. 4 things that would change college sports for the better. Let's start with number 1. Okay? This is real now. Yes, this is the Nate Brown Show commission on college sports. Number 1. You have to have a mutually agreed upon name, image, and likeness number that each team can pay their players. This is voted on by the conferences, and it's going to be an FBS power conference level. There's going to be an FBS group of 5 number, and then there's going to be an FCS number. What do I mean by that? You just have to have, you want to call it a salary cap, that's what it is. But it's got to be voted on. You got to have a mutually agreed upon name, image, and likeness number. Maybe in the FBS, it's up to $35 million a year, because that's where Texas is going. The Longhorns said we're going to pay $35 million for our players in football. Okay, so maybe that's the number. They just throw it out. FBS level is $35 million. That's the cap. You can't go over it. So it's just simple. That's easy, right? How come nobody is saying, well, we got to have fairness in competition? That's how you do that. So some teams are going to spend below that, but you can't go over that. Okay, so there's my number 1. NIL salary ceiling, okay? That's what you have to have. Not a floor, a ceiling, cap. Number 2, don't say athletes are employees. Don't go down that road of athletes are employees. You know why? All of the athletes that think they want to be employees, the cross-country runner, the golfer, they're going to find out as an employee, if their department doesn't make money, they're going to get cut. The layoffs would happen. Okay, so be careful what you wish for. Oh, athletes are employees of the university. That's what we want. That's not what you want. You're independent contractors, because the schools would fire the non-essential employees and eliminate those budgets. You think some of these schools care about golf and swimming and whatever? They don't. They're going to funnel all the money that they get to the revenue-generating sports. So don't go down the employment route. Do the contracts instead, not the employment route. Do the contracts with the players through NIL. You have to have contracts with athletes on the NIL payments with terms, so if they decide to transfer, they're going to pay the money back. You use that money for other players. So you don't do the athlete employment contract. do the athlete NIL contract and hold them to it. Number 3, this is an easy one. Transfer portal, one window, that's it. Right now we're trying to make teams, players, they can leave whenever, wherever. Oh, we get 2 transfer windows, and we can leave after spring football. If we decide we didn't want to stay, well, we stayed in December. We stayed for spring. Didn't work out. We're going to leave again. So we give them all these windows. One window, that's it. Transfer portal, one window. Basketball, football. Football is in December, okay? After the season, regular season at least. You got to do, and I would even probably push that back to January, but if you need December to enroll in the college for the next semester, we can wiggle. But football 1, it's in the winter, December, January. Basketball 1, it's in the spring after the season in April. Why do we have to open this thing up twice? We open it up all the time. Why? That's what I mean by the NCAA just, well, yeah, sure. Just do whatever. Transfer portal. You can transfer. You can't limit the transfers. We're never going to get that back. But it's one window. And finally, my last one on the commission from the Nate Brown Show for college sports. In order to compete for NCAA national championships for schools, each school needs to maintain a minimum number of Olympic sports. So if you want to play for the men's national basketball championship, you want to play for the college football championship, you have to maintain a minimum number of Olympic sports. This isn't sorry, these sports just don't work for us. We're going to cut them. You got to look out for these athletes that are as good as the other athletes. They're just not in a revenue-generating sport. So, there, I just solved it for you. That's it. That's it on a Thursday. NIL, salary, you got to have a number for every program, every conference level. Athletes aren't employees. They're independent contractors. Do the contracts with the NIL payments. Nothing else. Transfer portal, one time. That's it. Unlimited transfers, but you get one throughout the year, and you got to have Olympic sports minimum numbers to compete for NCAA titles. I figured it out. I'm not even Nick Saban. I'm not even on the commission. Back with Craig Maddock, SDPB Sports, getting us started next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale is on now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window. Plus enjoy no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Get an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
Fox Sports Rapid City Forecast. Partly cloudy tonight with a low of 55. Southwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. A blend of clouds and sun again tomorrow. Slight chance of thunderstorms. 77. Tomorrow night 52. Clear skies and dry Saturday and Sunday. Mid-80s Saturday. Low 90s by Sunday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 76 degrees.
All right, we're talking with Britt Wicked at Elevate Performance Physical Therapy for an Elevate Performance Health Minute. Right now, it's baseball season, and one thing I know with baseball, I hear about this overused shoulder injury.
It's something that we see a lot clinically. Repetitive motions place ourselves at an increased risk for sustaining an injury, especially if it's a movement that hasn't necessarily been done a lot previously.
And one thing, some people say, well, you just have to rest, but not all the time.
Yeah, so it's good to take a break in a sense. But that doesn't necessarily mean do nothing at all. If you're experiencing symptoms like that and having soreness with throwing in particular, that's a good time to be seen by a physical therapist to try to assess the root cause of your symptoms. You could have weakness in the rotator cuff. We could have some shoulder instability. There's a lot going on with throwing, so it's important to have that thoroughly assessed to get you back on the road to recovery.
Get started at elevateperformancesd.com.
Imagine this, a bank that is committed to you, that understands your needs, your values, and your growth. No more settling for the status quo. Pioneer Bank & Trust offers tailored solutions, innovative services, and a team of experts dedicated to your success. You deserve more attention and more support from your bank. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank & Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank & Trust. Member FDIC.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
All right, we're to the end of the day. I hope you're out the door and into your drive home. Thanks for being here. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Glad to have you on board. Thursday, it is happy hour. Coming up next hour, hang on, Rob Tegron's in tonight. Rob Tegron, double duty tonight. I tell you, he's a famous radio guy, right? Had a national radio show on Sirius XM, and he was on Mad Dog Sports Radio today, and then he's coming on the Nate Brown Show tonight. I love it. Rob Tegron's coming in, our guest host, every Thursday. Straight ahead. Craig Maddox in. You love Craig, right? SDPB Sports. Yeah, I serve it up. He's got a new podcast out there, In Play. Very interesting interview. Craig, good to have you on. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. Yes, always the host is supposed to, make the guests feel a little more at home, and you do a great job with that.
I served it up for you. Let's get popping here a little bit. I've got some high school sports questions. I'm going to go rapid fire you on because I've done some questions of the day this week and some high school sports stuff. So here's what I see. There's going to be a new streaming app that's launching. I touched on this yesterday called Midwest Sports Plus. Midwest Sports Plus, part of Forum. We know those guys. And they're going to cover a lot of high school sports, regular season, and do the streaming. And I said, there's a lot of growth here over the past 10 years. I remember back in the day when I was just doing radio and you were doing radio. That was the big thing. Like, oh, we got play-by-play for games. That's huge. Last 10 years, boy, the streaming has exploded. Do you think it's really important for each high school in South Dakota to have their games streamed, Craig?
It is a promotional reason why. They're certainly not in it to, generate talent and train the talent to become broadcasters. That might happen, but that's not what they're doing it for. They're doing it. Every school is doing it to promote what's going on, and for the most part, it's working because grandpa and grandma or mom and dad or former people who lived in that town or went to that school, they're still interested, and they're going to watch that when they can. Yeah. Now, are the numbers where they're supposed to? They're not generating any income with the schools. They're probably selling ads for, exposure in the gym or on the football field, and maybe they include that with streaming, combine the whole thing. But, it is completely different, Nate, in the last 10 years.
But you think it's worth it. 64% of my audience voted it's a must-have. 64% a must-have.
And attendance shows that, too. When I talk to coaches and ADs, they're saying, 10 years ago, we would we would have our crosstown rival in, or one of the top teams come in, and we would fill the place. Where, you know what, they're not necessarily doing that as often because of the possibility of them just staying home and able to watch it on the computer.
Okay, here's one caveat I said about streaming. I said, I think the kicker is when you can add a professional broadcast. We partner with a video streaming company here, and we add our play-by-play broadcast onto the school stream, and that's really, really good. Some of these schools are just setting up a camera. It's auto. Yep. There's no audio. I think that is what it is. It's fine. But you add some of the broadcast to this, now we're talking, and I think people that would never watch a game, like I may not watch a 9-man game that I'm not that interested in, Craig, but now I can stream it, and here I get to see a photo finish, something like that. I think it comes right into your, as a fan, you get to see stuff you normally wouldn't get to see.
Well, I tried doing this probably 15 to 20 years ago, but the companies that I work for didn't believe in what's happening today, because what I wanted to do, I wanted to be able to have people go to the website where I worked and have them choose what game they wanted to see.
Oh.
And that way, you know, if I wanted to watch Sturgis or Lee Deadwood or Rapid City Central or Rapid City Stevens or St. Thomas More, I could go to your website there, Mr. Brown, and you would have it all right there on one website for people to go to. But you know what? Now it's a challenge to put a couple of streams on one site, but for the most part, yeah, you have to do the website today.
Craig Maddock, cutting edge. I mean, I know you're always cutting edge. I mean, I gotta hand that to you. By the way, let me ask you about this. I threw this out. What should South Dakota steal from other states for high school sports that we don't have? I threw out some options. What should we implement from other states for a high school sports thing that we don't have? And the number one vote getter, be able to move teams up and down a class based on success or lack thereof. What do you say?
Well, I would still like to see those recommendations. Doesn't Minnesota do it?
I'm not sure on Minnesota, but I know Indiana. I know
Indiana, Montana, or someone. I got to see more of that to actually see, how bad do you have to be to get delegated to a lower division. I mean, that's what I want to see. How long do you have to live in misery before the association would say, okay, we'll move you down for a while? I would like to know what some of that timeline would be.
It's going to go through cycles, I'm telling you. So fans voted for, that would be the number one thing they would say. Let's do the move teams up and down a class. North Dakota does it, Greg, right up north. Okay. North Dakota does this relegation. Right. So,
and I think something, too, that needs to be looked at, too, is the transfer policy. I think that needs to be updated and looked at again as well.
Craig Maddock on tonight, SDPB Sports. Download his podcast through SDPB. It's called In Play. I had Curtis Riggs on this week, and it's interesting.
I heard it, by the way.
Okay, so you heard this. He talked about indoor football. I asked him, is it going to come back in Sioux Falls? Will it come back? He hopes so. He was kind of, I think so, but I'm not sure about the venue, and I'll ask you the same question. Is indoor football coming back in Sioux Falls?
Well, the policy, call it what you want, whether it's a policy or looking ahead, until the Premier Center top dogs say, yes, we need more local sporting events, it's not going to happen, I don't think. The current people that run the Premier Center, you know what, they would have no problems with no high school state championships in the Premier Center. It has totally changed here in the last 3-4 years. All they want are concerts. That's all they want to do.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Money, but until they're going to say yes, we'll go to a 10-game home schedule with indoor football. It's not going to happen.
Okay, here's the thing though, and I've seen this in Rapid City, and I've seen it in Sioux Falls a little bit. these venues aren't getting as many concerts anymore. So what am I missing? The concerts used to be coming through. They're not coming through as much.
Well, I don't think it's the belief of the current top dogs at the Premier Center. They're going to be pushing concerts as much. I know for a fact that there's a little bit of pushback going on, trying to get high school state events there. Let's hope it can keep continuing. But right now, it is a lot different. I agree with what Curtis Riggs said on your show the other day. Totally agree. This is not the vision that Mayor Mike Huther had when he helped open up that facility. It's a little different now.
Okay, I asked my audience, will indoor football ever come back in the state of South Dakota? And they said probably not. The majority of people said you're not going to see indoor football again. Last one for Craig Maddock. SDSU men are going to play Wyoming at the Pentagon in December. That just got announced today. The Jackrabbits going to play Wyoming at the Pentagon. Will they skip right over Rapid City? What's going on?
Yeah, I you know what? I'm not involved with that of trying to get teams to come to Sioux Falls and skip over Rapid, but that's good. I mean, I know that I think Nebraska women are going to be back in the Pentagon too next fall. They're getting some big schedules going. But you know what? I would think that Rapid City with the monument, and I love the facility. It is beautiful. I love being there all the time. You got to think that it is still going to be a key spot where teams want to go play. You got to believe that.
We had over 5,000 for South Dakota State, Northern Colorado at the monument this past year. And so I thought, boy, Wyoming coming in right next door. There's a lot of Wyoming alumni in western South Dakota. But Wyoming Sundance Wicks going to go play South Dakota State at the Pentagon December 15th. I have Sundance Wicks, head coach for the Pokes, on my show Monday. So I'm going to be asking him about
get on his case right now.
Heading out to Sioux Falls. That's right. Craig Maddock on tonight. What should we know about your latest podcast, In Play?
Well, the one we had last week dealt with the Howard Wood Dakota Relays. The 100th running of the relays was last weekend, and of course, state track meet is coming up here at the end of the month. And before we have state track meet, you're going to hear a podcast from one of the top female all-time multi-sport athletes, and also one of the fastest guys in the state for over a decade. You're going to hear that. Both those interviews coming up on In Play before the end of the month.
Craig Maddock joining us, getting us started. SDPB Sports, longtime Sioux Falls broadcaster. Craig, always appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
All right, Nate. Later.
See ya. Craig Maddock on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline from SDPB Sports, Sioux Falls. Craig Maddock. All right, there we go. Let's get it cranking tonight. I have interesting conversation to be had with Zach Barnett next. He's a national college football writer for FootballScoop.com. Does he think Nick Saban can fix college sports on this new presidential commission? Zach Barnett live from Dallas next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Fleet Farms Garden Center has discounts on hundreds of plants, flowers, vegetables, fertilizers, and more. Like Farm Fresh Selects 10-inch hanging baskets for $17.99. And large bags of Miracle-Gro all-purpose garden soil for just $7.99. Plus, get a 21-inch full-bore 3-in-1 push mower on sale for only $259.99. When it comes to the great outdoors, let Fleet Farm handle all your patio, lawn, and garden needs at the best prices guaranteed.
It seems like the cost of everything is going up, so it's nice to save a little dough when you can, especially for something you love to eat every day. Before I go grocery shopping, I print out a coupon for $1 off any Country Hearth, Village Hearth, or Artisan Hearth bread product. My favorite is Dakota Style 12 grain. My wife's breakfast go-to is a toasted Village Hearth English muffin. We can save $1 on each. Go to countryhearthbreads.com/coupons and print 1 or 2 out before your next shopping trip. And don't forget, Country Hearth, Village Hearth, and Artisan Hearth bread products are baked locally and delivered fresh daily.
Mr. Liquor 2 would like to thank the thousands of customers who've purchased spirits in their new location off Catron since they opened in mid-November. Join the crowd who's discovered the unmatched selection of spirits, beers, and wines. Order from their 20 draft beers in the adjoining Campfire Bar and enjoy it while you shop. Plus, keep up to date on in-store beverage tastings and food truck appearances on the Mr. Liquor Facebook page. Thank you again for your business from the new Mr. Liquor 2 off Catron next to Walmart or their original location on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
Building your Black Hills dream? Builder's First Source in Rapid City, Spearfish, and Hot Springs has you covered. Top quality materials, product expertise, all your building needs in one place for materials and services. Just stop in or start at BLDR.com. That's BLDR.com. Builder's First Source. Build it.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
Hey sports fans, it's Rob from the Firehouse Skybox. We are Rapid City's premier sports bar with everything you want for the best game watching experience. Bring your crew and take in the action while enjoying our Firehouse craft beers, specialty cocktails, and a great menu of Firehouse burgers, nachos, and more. We have every game, every night on our 35 big screens, and there's not a bad seat in the house. Come and watch your favorite team at the #1 place for sports, the Skybox, right above the Firehouse, Main Street, downtown Rapid City.
Ever since Barron's Wilson Funeral Home first opened their doors in Rapid City 140 years ago, they have continued to make personal service their #1 priority. In your time of grief, they offer a personal touch by being at your side through every step of the funeral process. They answer difficult questions and guide you toward other professional services you may need. See for yourself the wide variety of services they can provide for you by visiting their website at barronswilson.com.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show across the state on Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here. The Nate Brown Show live. Let's take a look at what's on tap tonight. Keith Smith coming up, NBA analyst, Spot Track, covers the Celtics. Look out. Can the Celtics come back? Down 0-2. I was surprised by that last night. Keith Smith coming up. His show's Front Office Show. Also, it's Happy Hour straight ahead with Rob Kegron, our guest host every Thursday. He's live in studio. Rob Kegron was on Mad Dog Sports Radio this morning. Now the Nate Brown Show tonight. We got the famous Rob Kegron in next hour. What's on tap? Brought to you by the new Campfire Bar at Mr. Liquor 2 off Catron Boulevard. Live sports, 20 local brews on tap. That's the place. Patio, it's getting warm. Campfire Bar inside the new Mr. Liquor 2 off Catron Boulevard. Zach Barnett's on. National College Football writer. Appreciate his time. Footballscoop.com. New layout of the site. I go there every day. Really good. Footballscoop.com. Zach, good to have you. How are you?
Doing well, Nate. Good to be here.
Okay, I want to get your read on this thing. It's interesting news, and I think people automatically think everything should be controversial. We say, oh, this is going to be a mess, or this is going to solve everything. That's how I feel it is. It's the Presidential Commission to Study College Sports. Nick Saban's going to co-chair it. This guy from Texas Tech, Cody Campbell's going to co-chair it. Do you think this is a smart thing to start?
I don't know that it's smart, although I don't know that it's stupid either.
Okay.
It's like split the. I mean, who knows the NIL space better than Cody Campbell right now? He's kind of his generation's Boone Pickens or Phil Knight, but instead of spending $1 billion to build a new facility, although Texas Tech's done plenty of that as well, they've basically remade their stadium. They built a brand new, beautiful football facility. But instead of pouring his money into that, he's pouring it into buying players. It's helping Texas Tech. They've got 18 transfers, the number 2 transfer class in college football. I can't sit here and say how much he fronted for that, but I know he did the heavy lifting there. So he knows the marketplace. He's a former player himself. And then Nick Saban, I think his ideas are a little bit antiquated, but certainly when he talks, people listen. So getting smart people into a room and talking about this in a way that could, in theory, lead to productive conversation instead of just grandstanding, which is what the congressional hearings usually turn into, I think it has the potential to be a good thing.
Okay, I have some listeners react on this show as I started my show with it tonight. I said, I'm going to give it a try. I mean, I'll see what they discuss and research and do hearing, I'll see how this goes. I'm fine with it. Some people said, well, this is just going to try and beat down the players. They're going to try and do this to beat down the players. And I said, Cody Campbell, this coach here out of Texas Tech, said the Power 4 conferences are the ones that are trying to, and he's Texas Tech, but he said they're trying to make all this money right now. And so he feels like he's trying to step in this and say, this shouldn't just be the Power 4 money grab. What did you make of his comments? I was reading through them today. What did you make? That was part of it.
Yeah, he was also, I read he's written some columns for the Federalist, so I was reading those as well. And he said he cares deeply about college athletics remaining a vehicle for people to improve their lives, for not just football players, but golfers, tennis players, what have you. So I think Saban's in the same boat. I mean, really, I think if I could wave a magic wand and change one thing about this, everyone says NIL and the portal. I think those are separate issues that get lumped together. If we could make one change, it would be to eliminate this immediate transfer rule, which the NCAA did, and then they got sued by a collection of 10 states that didn't allow that. If we could just keep guys for at least 2 years at where they are, that would bring a lot of sanity to this. I imagine they're going to try and move in that direction. Do they ultimately have the legal power to do so? Nate, I'm not anywhere near qualified to answer that question.
It's a big one. I know I've talked about the immediate transfer, and it's just you can go whenever, wherever for the amount of money. That's been a problem, but people push back and say, well, they got sued over it, so then the NCAA just let it fly. And that's really the deal here. Everybody said, why didn't the NCAA try and, they've tried figuring out all this stuff before. And I say, I don't think they really did because they look like they're scared of getting sued every other week.
Yeah, and I mean, really, the answer to all this is the NCAA should have acted a long time ago, and obviously they didn't. So now at this point, their hands are tied. And one thing I hope that the powers that be, whether it be Nick Saban and Cody Campbell or the congressional leaders, whatever, I hope one thing we don't lose sight of is when the schools and the administrators chase as much money as possible for themselves, no one seems to have a problem with it, which led to the complete destruction of the Pac-12 conference. To me, that's going to harm the long-term viability of college football more than a left tackle getting paid more than he probably should, so to speak.
Zach Barnett on tonight, college football writer, footballscoop.com, talking about this presidential commission on college sports. Nick Saban co-chaired it with Cody Campbell. He's the chair of the Board of Regents at Texas Tech and a big-time donor. So what's stopping you said maybe we can't limit the NIL. Maybe it should be this transfer thing. What's stopping them from just saying, hey, here's a mutually agreed-upon NIL number for each level? So the power conferences, here's the number per year. Group of 5, here's a number. FCS, here's a number. So you can't go over $35 million per year at the Power 4 level. What's stopping people from saying, that's fair, we vote on that, let's do it?
Collective bargaining. Agents, the free market, the antitrust law, take your pick. You can do that. You can have salary caps in professional sports because those are collectively bargained with the players' union. There's no players' union in college athletics. Brett Kavanaugh came out and said, he's got the most infamous quote of this era, is in no other business in America is it allowed that, well, just part of our business is that we don't pay our employees. And I know college athletes aren't employees. They don't want to be employees. But you can't just restrict the earnings of college athletes just because they're college athletes.
Hey, you're down in Texas. What do you think of the Texas Longhorns going $35 to $40 million per for their team for this year? That seems like almost double what was reported at Ohio State last year.
I think I find myself pretty frustrated by this conversation because it's a whole lot of misinformation, willful ignorance, what have you. We all know that the House settlement's coming, right? Like that's in the news. So football programs are going to get around $13 million per school, and out of that $20 million. So this isn't just your traditional NIL collective figure that Ohio State last year we think led the nation with about $20 million. Texas is going to have a collective and rev share. Ohio State's going to have a collective and rev share. Tennessee, Notre Dame, what have you. Eventually, all of these schools are going to be in the $30-40 million range.
Okay, that's interesting. I look at that and I say, how about Arch Manning? Some people say he doesn't even pull out of the NIL fund. He's got his own sponsorships. So you're talking about Texas giving all this money to all the other players, not even having an account for him.
Yeah, it's certainly an advantage for Texas to be able to do that. I don't know. It's kind of like the college football version of trying to win a Super Bowl with your quarterback on his rookie contract. It's a huge advantage that only lasts for so long because whoever ends up replacing Arch Manning is not going to have the marketability of Arch Manning. That's for sure.
Okay, I just saw this. Joel Klatt, Fox Sports, said Penn State is the best team going into the season. What say you?
I'll believe it when I see it. Maybe I watched the games. Maybe Joel didn't. When Drew Aller threw 2 disastrous interceptions, it was not a difference maker for Penn State and their losses to Ohio State and to Notre Dame. I mean, Penn State played kind of a typical Penn State season, and they beat everyone they're supposed to beat, and were non-threatening against the teams that they were not more talented than. And they managed to get into the Big Ten championship game without having to beat Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, what have you. They managed to be able to get to the semifinals, beating SMU and Boise State. So Penn State played 16 games, and I'm not sure we really find out how good they were. So the idea of crowning them as the number 1 team, I'm not sure I support that.
Zach Barnett popping in tonight. Read his work at footballscoop.com. Great national college football writer. Zach, good to have you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Zach Barnett on the Nate Brown Show, footballscoop.com. National college football writer. Find him on Twitter at Zach_Barnett. Question of the day tonight. Do you support the Presidential Commission studying college sports? That's all. Yes, it's worth the look. No, it's not going to solve anything. How cynical are we going to be tonight? Do you agree on putting together the Presidential Commission to study the current state of college sports? Tell me on the text line, if you would, 605-720-1067. 53% of you are voting on Twitter. Yes, it's needed. I'll support it. 47% no, they won't solve anything. Listener reaction. I think the only people concerned are the coaches. And the free market is messy, but awesome. I think the only people that are concerned are the coaches. I don't know about that. There's more people concerned than that. Let's see. Listener reaction. We need a presidential commission to investigate what Saban did at Alabama. He said hoarding players, etc. Hoarding players? All right. Interesting stuff. 605-720-1067 on the Barron's Wilson text line. Do you support the commission to study the current state of college sports? Nick Saban co-chairing the Presidential Commission. Hey, I just saw this. Saturday Blitz put out the most passionate fan base in college football last year. Now, this is just an opinion piece from a site that covers college football. Saturday Blitz. They said this college football fan base is the most passionate of 2024. So then I'm going to turn this around. Which team in South Dakota has the most passionate fan base? I think there's two. I'm going to throw that out to you next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale is on now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window. Plus enjoy no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Get an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
Equipment Company has a 5-step lawn care program to make your lawn the best it can be. Let Warren take care of your lawn weeds, plus 5 applications of fertilizer and micronutrients for a green, healthy lawn. We also offer lawn aeration to help your lawn breathe. Warren's 5-Step Lawn Pro Service is the original lawn service company in Rapid City. Single applications of weed and feed or just lawn weeds are also available. Call Warren Chemical and Equipment Company for an estimate on our 5-step lawn care program for your lawn. Phone 342-7644.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Partly cloudy tonight with a low of 55. Southwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. A blend of clouds and sun again tomorrow. Slight chance of thunderstorms. 77. Tomorrow night, 52. Clear skies and dry Saturday and Sunday. Mid-80s Saturday, low 90s by Sunday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 76 degrees.
Eating in Deadwood has so many options thanks to Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort. Wake up with the trusted taste of Starbucks or sit down to a full breakfast at Best Brews. Looking for lunch? Build a wonderfully fresh sandwich from Jersey Mike's. Grab some quick and cheesy goodness from Pizza Hut or pull up a chair in Patty O'Neill's Irish Pub. Need something a little more intimate for dinner? Well, Snitches is all the buzz with an evolving menu of chef-designed culinary creations. There's something for everyone to eat at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort, located on historic Main Street in Deadwood.
Hi, this is Jeremy with Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, inviting you to kickstart your morning by dropping by and grabbing some fresh donuts. I want to thank you for voting us the best in the Black Hills. We're up early making your favorite donuts, so stop by and bring some to the office. Everybody loves Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, and we love you, so stop by, get a great selection to brighten up your day. Serving Rapid City for over 40 years, Jerry's Cakes and Donuts at 109 East Omaha, and remember to like Jerry's on Facebook for some great giveaways.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show. We are live on Fox Sports Radio. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. It's always a great day in South Dakota. Yes, sir. Thursday edition of the program, South Dakota Sports Talk Show with Rob Kegron coming in live in studio. Rob Kegron, our guest host every Thursday. We'll do it up with Thursday Happy Hour straight ahead this next hour. Rob Kegron coming up. National NBA analyst Keith Smith is in. He covers the Celtics. How messy is it in Boston? Down 0-2. to the Knicks. What do we say there? Boston's just launching threes. I've never seen anything like it. Keith Smith coming up, NBA analyst. This is an interesting one, so I want to throw out there before we get into the next hour. Saturday Blitz, it's a college football site, and they were ranking the top fan bases in college football for 2024. So they're like, hey, these are the passionate fans, man. They'll just go to the end of the earth to support their team and the whole thing. They had Ohio State in there in the top 5. They went to the number 1 passionate fan base. Saturday Blitz says Michigan. I said Michigan for 2024. I don't see a lot of Michigan fans around here in South Dakota. There's some. I got a couple of guys that love Michigan, but so I can't really speak for that. I haven't been to the Big House. I've been to a Michigan game. I went Michigan-Notre Dame back in South Bend quite a few years ago, and they had some fans there. I wouldn't say it was like overly crazy of Michigan fans. So that's interesting. I watched the days of Mario Manningham. Remember that name? Chad Henne? Yes, back in the day. I'm old. So I went Michigan, Notre Dame. So Michigan's number 1. Saturday Blitz says that. I guess that's fine. I thought, let me split this into South Dakota. Which college football fan base now? I'm going to say football. Which college football team has the most passionate fan base? The biggest following in South Dakota. I think there's 2 teams. I know if you want to scream at the text line, you can you can text very aggressively who you think. I think there's 2 teams. Is it close anymore? There's South Dakota State. I know that for a fact. The fan base is big, passionate because the Jacks have won so much. And so this has been a power program now for quite a while. National champion. And so that's built this fan base. There is also passion for the Nebraska Huskers. And I'm not going to say USD is quite there yet. And I've said this before because they haven't had the long, sustained runs. They had a great run last year, a couple of years ago. So nice runs. That's starting there at USD. I'm not saying they're not going to get there. There's some Yote fans that follow this show on Twitter. I love your guys' passion. I mean, I interact with Yote fans a lot. There's good passion there. It's not a big base. So I think the most passionate fan base in South Dakota is between South Dakota State football and Husker football still. Some people say, Iowa football. I just got that on the text line. Little bit. But Huskers take over the whole state. You got Husker fans East River and West River. And so I don't think it's I think if I'm going to guess now, here's my take on it. You tell me as you walk around South Dakota. I think the Jacks have overtaken the Huskers. Somebody say, oh, come on. And I'm telling you, I know Husker season ticket holders. I know quite a few of them, actually. I mean, I could name them off here. They wouldn't want me to do that because they're embarrassed. But no, they're passionate. Come on. Sellout crowd every day since 1962. I mean, give them some credit. So I think the Jacks have overtaken the Husker fan base in South Dakota. And I'm not sure, well, I am sure the Huskers used to have a huge following, a bigger following, because why? They won with Tom Osborne. So, I mean, it's really easy to see. Huskers won, took over the whole state. Now they're losing. South Dakota State's winning. It's flipped. That's my read on it. They're still Husker fans because here's what I do on the show. I'll interview the Jacks coach or a Jacks player, Jacks guest, whatever it is, and we do a lot of that. There's a good fan base for that. I also do some Husker stuff, and we get some good play on that. So it's not like the Huskers are dead. I mean, you don't have that passion, that long tradition that they've had, and then just be dead. I mean, this is a proud fan base. Proud fan base. They've really struggled, and the Huskers have been hanging on to their fans for the most part. But I think the Jacks have overtaken the Huskers' most passionate fan following in South Dakota. Would you agree? Let's throw it out on Twitter. Based on what you see in South Dakota, which team has the biggest fan following in the state? Jacks football or Husker football? Who would you vote for? Listener reaction from Jesse. I would be surprised if this is even close. So I think he's meaning Jacks, I think. 88% of the audience is voting Jacks have the bigger following now in South Dakota. 88% say Jacks football. 12% of them say Husker football still has the biggest fan following. I think it's Jacks. Now, that could change because if the Huskers get in the mix, and what I mean by that, if the Huskers get in the college football playoff mix, now you're talking. Listener text here coming in. I agree the Jackrabbits have overtaken the fan base of the Huskers in South Dakota. There's almost 2 generations of people that haven't seen the Huskers win. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I think it's the Jacks, and 88% of you are voting Jacks. Listener reaction from Chuck. I think there are Jack fans that are also Husker fans. I'm a Jack fan, but I also am a Notre Dame fan. You can be both. Chuck, but I'm talking passion. If the Jacks are on at the same time as the Huskers, what are you doing? Or are you making the trip to Lincoln still from South Dakota, or are you going to Brookings? I think the Jacks have grown big time in that category. Coming right back with Happy Hour straight ahead. Rob Kegron's our guest host. It's going to be a great happy hour tonight. But Keith Smith is in first, national NBA analyst. I want to get his read. He covers the Boston Celtics next.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale is on now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window. Plus enjoy no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Get an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
294 BD Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer from Denny Menholt Toyota. Use your phone, it's fast and easy. Pull up our website, click on Value Trade-In, scan your VIN, and tell us about your car. You are on your way to a no-hassle, no-commitment cash offer on your vehicle in under 5 minutes. Bring your vehicle and your Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer to Denny Menholt Toyota and get cash or trade-in credit today. See you soon at Denny Menholt Toyota, Rapid City.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
New windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen.
With mortgage interest rates where they are right now, so many people are renovating their own homes rather than moving. And there's never been a better time to invest in awesome new windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen. Renewal by Andersen's legendary windows have been the best you can get for decades, but many people don't know that Renewal by Andersen also has incredible new ensemble entry doors and the entire Acclaim line of replacement windows, which are winning rave reviews from clients. Renewal by Andersen's windows, ensemble entry doors, and the entire Acclaim line of replacement windows will make your home so much more energy efficient on cold winter nights or hot summer days. Those new windows and doors will make your home so much more quiet and secure. We hear that all the time. Please visit RBARapidCity.com to schedule a free consultation. Be sure to ask about our great offers and really attractive financing options right now. Renewal by Andersen Windows and Entry Doors. Isn't it time?
One more time. This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, good stuff tonight. Welcome in. Second hour ready to go on a Thursday. The Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. You can stream us on your phone on Twitter. Get on Twitter and follow us at Nate Brown Show, and then you've got the show live, so welcome in there. Also on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. Just search for it, The Nate Brown Show, and you've got us on YouTube. We are live, getting set for Thursday Happy Hour with our guest host, Rob Kegron. He is coming in. Question of the day is, who has the biggest fan following in South Dakota when it comes to college football? Who has the biggest fan following in South Dakota when it comes to college football? Listener text coming in. You've got to win to build a fan base, and the Jackrabbits have won a lot more than the Huskers, so I say the Jacks. Listener text, I would say Northern State has a crazy fan base for a D2 school. It's just not as big as Brookings. Yeah, interesting. One more listener text. I sadly agree with you. It's the Jacks, then the Huskers, but go Yotes. So that's why he sadly agrees. Okay. Keith Smith on tonight, national NBA analyst, front office show on YouTube. Check out his show, covers the NBA, contributes to Spot Track. Keith, good to have you back. How are you? Did I lose him? Did I already lose him?
I'm here.
Oh, you're here. You're here. I got you. All right, man. I appreciate
you. All right, that was my fault. I don't, one of these days I'll figure out how to use this mute button on the phone.
You're okay, man. Hey, you cover the Celtics. You know, you've been following this team. Are they in trouble?
Yeah, anytime you lose the first two at home, you're in trouble. You basically eliminated all your margin for error. You don't have to be exactly perfect, but you got to be really good the rest of the way. Otherwise, this thing is probably done. But I think there's a world where the Celtics wake up today and they're like, if we merely shoot poorly instead of absolutely awful, we win both of these games. If we shoot our normal way, we win both of these games going away. That said, I think the Knicks are probably looking at it and saying, hey, we weren't exactly lights out for the first three quarters of either game ourselves. So I think both teams are probably saying, hey, there's a lot better we can be.
How surprised are you, Keith, watching the Celtics win the whole thing and watching them play so well? How surprised are you how it went?
A little bit. I think there's a big part of me looks at it, and I've watched both of these games now twice full through, is they just missed a lot of open looks. A lot of shots that usually go down for good shooters just aren't falling, and everybody's focused on the three-pointers because that's the most glaring thing, but they're missing mid-range shots. They missed layups in game one. They missed a couple shots in the paint in game two. Like they just can't get anything to drop, and that's part of it. I think the defense has been good. I think the rebounding has been outstanding. So I think they've got a real chance here. It's just you got to start making some of these shots and see the ball go into the basket.
Keith Smith covers the Celtics and the NBA. His show's on YouTube, Front Office Show, contributes to Spot Track. Find him on Twitter, a great follow, NBA fans, at Keith Smith NBA. So are you of the belief that they should continue to shoot these threes, missing 45 in game one, missing some more in game two? Are you of the belief that the analytics win?
Yeah, I am. I'm a big believer in if they're good shots, And there were some bad shots in there in both games, to be sure. Some caused by the Knicks, some just the Celtics took bad shots. But when they're good shots, if they're open, you got to take them. And Joe Mazzulla, his philosophy is if you don't take open shots when the ball comes your way, you're not going to play. And we've seen him throughout his run as the Celtics coach. He'll pull guys out. He'll basically say, hey, you're not taking the shots you need to. I'm going to take you out of the game. And that is, something that we'll probably see is, just a continued push to take good shots when they're open, and eventually water will find its level. These guys did not overnight become bad shooters. Something is just a slump. It's a team-wide thing right now, and I think, that you got to trust in your process that if they're open, let it fly, and hope that they start falling next time.
So you think they're in trouble, but does that mean where does the series go? Does it go 7? Where are you at?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to surprise me at all if the Knicks win in, say, 6. I think Boston, could get a couple. I think the Celtics could also win in 6 or 7. I think, we're in a spot here where you could see them, if they play the way they did against the Knicks in the regular season, both of these teams are pretty much the same teams that they were, all throughout the course of the regular season. We could see Boston, reverse course and go. Like, it's the panic within Celtics fans that we felt over the last few days is it's understandable, but it's also you lost by like a total of 4 points in a couple of these games where you shot absolutely awful. If you make just a couple more shots, you're up 2-0, and you're like, all right, we're feeling pretty good, because then you're feeling like we played well, but we still won. So it's also right in front of them for sure.
Okay, how about this other series? Nuggets, OKC, I've watched that one. Nuggets stole one in game 1. I wasn't surprised that they got beat last night. I was surprised they gave up 87 in the first half, an NBA record. What do you think the Nuggets are going to be able to do here? It's tied 1-1. Can Jokic play through all the physicality? How do you see this matchup?
Yeah, I think what we saw in Game 2 was the classic road team won in Game 1, didn't really have the same energy in Game 2, and the Nuggets, for all intents and purposes, they punted pretty early in the second quarter. They're like, we're not doing this. Like, this is, just let it go. Like, it's, let them, if they want to run up and down, we'll let them go crazy. We're just going to kind of do our thing. So I think, now they did their job, right? It's we got the one. We stole home court advantage. Now it's going to be let's try to get in there. I think they've got to make a very conscious effort to try to slow the game down. They are not going to outscore the Thunder, 125, 120 or anything like that. They've got to value the ball a little bit more and lock in a little more defensively, and I think they can really make a series of it. I would still pick the Thunder. I picked the Thunder in 5 before the series, and it wouldn't shock me if that is how it goes. Kind of like the reverse gentleman sweep here, but I think the Thunder, they're just that good. I mean, they come at you in waves. They're the best team in the league at flipping a 5-point deficit to a 15-point lead in the blink of an eye.
Do the Wolves come back with a big answer tonight? No Steph Curry. Wolves got beat. They got to have it. Is this an OKC type win tonight?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance. It was very funny. I was saying in the last couple of days, of all the teams that lost, in the lost Game 1 at home in this second round, which there were a lot. It was a very weird, situation. It is a spot where I was, very much of the belief that the Wolves might have been maybe the worst one of all those Game 1 losses, but also we're in a position where they, are probably best off, and it's because they played terrible. They're not going to play that badly again in the series, I don't think. And you had a situation where now Stephen Curry is out. And I think if you're the Timberwolves, you're looking at it and saying, all right, we got to get this. That's it. If they lose tonight, that's worrisome because that's going to really cause them problems going forward. But I think you're going to see a big bounce-back game from Anthony Edwards. I think you're going to see a big bounce-back game from the rest of the Wolves, and they're going to take care of business tonight.
Follow him at Keith Smith NBA on Twitter, Front Office Show on YouTube, National NBA analyst Keith Smith on tonight. Keith, appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me.
Keith Smith in tonight. Follow him at Keith Smith NBA, and his YouTube show, Front Office Show, covers the NBA, and the Celtics contributes to Spot Track as well. Keith Smith on tonight. We're into the second hour on the Nate Brown Show. It is Thursday Happy Hour with our guest host, Rob Kegron. He was on Mad Dog Sports Radio today doing double hitters, and now on the Nate Brown Show. But we're going to do this. We're going to play a game next with Rob. A game called Better Chance of Making the Playoffs. The NFL schedule releases next week. Who has the better chance of making the playoffs? I'm going to run through some teams with Rob next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Could there be a better name? Auto Value Parts Stores. They aren't just about air fresheners or fuzzy dice. Auto Value Parts Stores are all about parts, auto parts, and advice. Pros who know auto parts with tons of tips when you need them the most. You want real value? Don't go to a place with a cute name. Go to Auto Value. Could there be a better name? I didn't think so. Your Auto Value Parts Store. We've got the parts, we've got the smarts.
I started doing it once in a while. Just for fun in the car with my friends. And yeah, I knew it was deadly, even illegal, but I didn't care. I remember looking down, and she was crossing the street, and I saw her just before I killed her.
Addiction has many faces. Texting and driving when you know it's life-threatening and illegal can be one of them. Take back control. Put the phone down.
Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, the South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet buys cars. You heard that right. We don't just sell cars, we buy them too. We make cash offers to purchase local cars, trucks, and SUVs every day. Tired of listing online? Tired of messages? Or just tired of making payments? Whatever the reason, make an appointment at rapidchevrolet.com for a no-obligation appraisal. It's fast and free. When you're ready to sell, we're ready to buy. At Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Partly cloudy tonight with a low of 55. Southwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. A blend of clouds and sun again tomorrow. Slight chance of thunderstorms. 77. Tomorrow night, 52. Clear skies and dry Saturday and Sunday. Mid-80s Saturday, low 90s by Sunday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 76 degrees.
The hottest wins are at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resorts. Blaze into big wins with over $80,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs, including your chance to drive off in a 2025 Chevy Trailblazer. Win $300 prize packages every Friday and Saturday from 8 p.m. to midnight, plus a $1,000 prize package at midnight. So qualify today and save the date for the grand prize drawing on Saturday, July 19th. Big wins all summer long at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort in Deadwood. How will your night play out?
Mr. Liquor 2 would like to thank the thousands of customers who've purchased spirits in their new location off Catron since they opened in mid-November. Join the crowd who's discovered the unmatched selection of spirits, beers, and wines. Order from their 20 draft beers in the adjoining Campfire Bar and enjoy it while you shop. Plus, keep up to date on in-store beverage tastings and food truck appearances on the Mr. Liquor Facebook page. Thank you again for your business from the new Mr. Liquor 2 off Catron next to Walmart or their original location on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
All right, welcome back in. Glad you're here. It's Thursday. It is Happy Hour on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Radio, presented by the Skybox, Rapid City's premier sports bar. You bet. Downtown, right above the firehouse. Get to the Skybox for every game. Firehouse Craft Beers, burgers, it's good stuff. Skybox, your home for sports in Rapid City. Rob Kegron's in tonight. As usual, Thursday Happy Hour with our guest host, Rob Kegron. He's doing double duty. Your friend Chris Russo, Mad Dog. You were on Mad Dog today, and now you're on the Nate Brown Show. Which is harder? I really like to know.
That's a really good question. You stumped me there because I wasn't prepared for it. Russo's a little tougher, right?
Because he's got to be. Does I mean yeah. he's just peppering you. He's hammering you. Said this, that.
You and I have a good rapport together, and we know how to play off each other, I think, pretty well. And you certainly give me a rundown of at least the topics we're going to talk about. We don't talk about what our takes are going to be, right? So that it's organic and natural. But, you know, Russo sometimes goes in directions I'm not expecting, and I have to play off of him a lot more. And so, yeah, he's a little tougher to deal with.
I can't imagine that. When we had Chris Russo in this studio last summer, I mean, I couldn't keep up.
Well, and he this is his classic thing, and he goes on a lot of program. Like he'll do hits all across the country, particularly in the morning. But he has this thing where if he's the guest, he tries to take over as host, right?
Yeah.
He did that with you. I remember it so well. Like he tries to move the it's Nate's show. Let Nate run the show, and you talk when he asks your question. He doesn't do that.
Right. I had questions, and then he just took it. All right. Rob Kegron's in. Good stuff. Mad Dog Sports Radio. He's popped on there with him. I got something fun for you tonight. Let's do something fun here. Okay? We haven't played this. NFL schedule comes out next week. So then we're going to know the dates and where people go and the whole thing. We know the opponents. We don't know how the schedule's going to line up. So we'll look forward to that. But I'm just going to throw this out there tonight because I heard Dan Patrick and his Danettes talking about, well, maybe the Cowboys make the playoffs for sure now with George Pickens. Maybe they do that. So I said, wait a minute. Who has the better chance of making the playoffs? And I'm going to go with Rob Kegron's New York Giants. I want to know. They were 3-14, Rob. I mean, this is a mess. You got Russell Wilson. You got the great Jackson Dart. You think he's going to be starting here eventually. What a player. Anyway. So I want to know, better chance of making the playoffs. This is the game. Let's start with Rob Kegron's Giants or Vikings. J.J. McCarthy steps in. We don't know what's going to happen. Giants or Vikings, better chance?
Of all of the ones that I expect that you're going to go down this path with, I think this is going to be a real challenging one for me. Because I got to be honest, right? The Giants were a 3-win team last year. Now, they were a 3-win team with Daniel Jones. Their defense is good. It's certainly gotten better through the draft. I think their defense will keep them in games. And you love Russ, and if Russ can cook, maybe, we find a way to get to that 9-win total. I don't think it's impossible. I do think our schedule's probably a little too tough. We're probably a year away from that.
I'm not talking a year away. I'm talking better chance of making the playoffs. Vikings or Giants? Come on.
It's the Giants, because the Vikings don't have a quarterback.
Oh, my.
They don't have a quarterback, Nate.
Wait a minute.
They don't have a quarterback.
Wait a minute. The Giants were 3-14. The Vikings were 14-3. They added talent.
And they took away the guy that got him to the playoffs.
Well, you love Sam Darnold. Anyway.
No, I can't stand him, but he got him to the playoffs. I mean, now you have a rookie who missed his entire rookie season with injury, and we don't even know if he's healthy yet. And your backup is Sam Howell?
This is why I play these games. I knew I'd start off Giants or Vikings thinking I'd throw a softball to you, and you have just demolished this thing. It's a meatball, and you let it fly right past you.
What are the Vikings going to do this year? Win 6 or 7 games? With J.J. McCarthy or Sam Howell? You're telling me J.J. McCarthy is going to win you 10 games?
Oh, sure.
What do you mean, oh, sure? What evidence do we have of that?
Absolutely.
What have we seen from J.J. McCarthy that tells us he's going to win 10 games?
He's got a bunch of good players around him. He'll be fine.
He does. Okay. He has really good skill position guys around him.
So Kevin O'Connell's really good, an elite coach. I mean, I can go down the list.
The Giants.
I
give it to you. The Giants.
This show liked you. They liked you, and now they've lost respect for you, the listeners of this show. So I served that up. How about this? Giants or Cowboys? Now let's go there. NFC East. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, the Cowboys. They're better than your Giants, correct?
The Dallas Cowboys gave up the second most points in the league last year, 468.
Nice stat.
The only team that gave up worse was the Carolina Panthers.
You've lost me, but nice stat.
So you're telling me they have a great offense. I agree, right? If Dak is healthy, and now you have two legit receivers, CeeDee Lamb and Pickens, although Pickens is a head case, clearly. I mean,
terrible.
Can't play for
Terrible.
Mike Tomlin. If you can't play for Mike Tomlin, who's so tolerant of all kinds of interesting personalities, i.e. Antonio Brown, then there's something wrong with you, not the Pittsburgh Steelers. But they have talent. They certainly, and they've kind of beefed up the offensive line through the draft. But their defense, who do they have besides Micah Parsons? Right? Like, where are we understanding that this defense is going to be? Here's the one thing I say about the Giants. Our defense is better than the Dallas Cowboy defense.
Okay, I'd go with that.
And so because of that, I think they have a slight advantage to make the playoffs over the Cowboys, because I think the Cowboys will score with the best of them. I just don't know that they're going to stop anyone.
The game is turning out very well tonight. Better chance of making the playoffs. I didn't know we'd do this, but he's got the Giants over the Vikings. He's got the Giants over the Cowboys. It's a beauty. Let's go with my Denver Broncos. I had to throw them in. The Giants or the Broncos. The Broncos already made it. So you're telling me they're not going to make it? What are you telling me?
I am telling you that the Broncos have a better chance of making the playoffs than the Giants.
There we go.
I have to be
like
genuine.
The Broncos better than the Vikings? Yeah. I can't believe it.
Because I don't understand your obsession with the Vikings who don't have a quarterback. I don't get it. Fine. You proved me wrong last year. You won 14 games with that bum Sam Darnold. And then he stunk at the end of the season and stunk in the playoffs.
I told you they were going to be good.
You did, and I was 100% against you week in and week out. You proved me wrong until I proved you wrong at the end. No, where though? Where? You want to tell me I got Sam Darnold wrong? Okay, fine.
So you believe Bo Nix? You believe more in Bo Nix? You're like, that wasn't just a flash in the pan. The Broncos have a better chance than your Giants.
Yes, but number one, your defense is excellent. It's top of the league, your defense, right? And now I do worry that Nix doesn't have enough talent around him in the skill positions, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when your number one receiver is Cortland Sutton, and not to say that Sutton's a bad receiver, he's good. But he's not a typical number one wide receiver.
Not a game breaker. No.
And who are your other wide receivers? I know you drafted a tight end. I think you'll be okay at the running back position. I do worry about skill positions, but your defense is going to keep you in and week out. And the one thing we know is your pal, your friend, your guru, Sean Payton, knows how to work with Bo Nix. We've seen that already. He got more out of Bo Nix than I would have ever expected in year one.
Broncos over the Giants. We got Rob Kagron with some truth to him here. I hit him in the neck here during the show. Those first two segments were off the charts. Last two, better chance of making the playoffs. This is an interesting one. Did you know the 49ers were 6-11? 6-11? The Giants or the 49ers? Now, please don't lose more respect.
I have my doubts about Brock Purdy. I'm being quite honest.
You do. You still owe a listener something.
I think they're supposed to put a pie in my face, which I'm happy to do. It will be good content. I mean, you'll be able to talk about it for a good 15 minutes. How much joy you got out of watching me have pie all over my face. My issue with Purdy is I do really think he's a game manager, right? He can be successful. I don't know that he ever takes you over the top, but with Shanahan and a game manager, should you have a better chance of making the playoffs than the Giants? Yes, absolutely. San Francisco should have a better chance to make the playoffs than the New York Giants.
Okay, man, we are talking sense, and the last one, let's stay in the NFC North this time. The Bears, Caleb Williams, year 2. Are the Bears the real deal? This one is the only tough one for me. Okay, Vikings have a better chance. Cowboys, better chance. Broncos, better chance. 49ers, better chance. I set you up on this, and you failed the first two tests. Last one, tough one. This could go either way. Bears or Giants, better chance.
The Bears were a 5-win team last year. They've absolutely added in the talent pool on the offensive side, and they have a new coach who certainly was a guru in Detroit. But I am not a believer and have never been a believer and will not be a believer until I'm proven wrong in Caleb Williams.
Wow.
I didn't like him being drafted first. I thought you had better options there. When I watched him in college, I watched him at USC, and I thought he was average and made poor decisions. Now, will Ben Johnson fix some of that? He'll fix some of it. Does he have talent to throw to? Yes, he sure does. Got sacked a lot last year. Better clean that problem up. They were the 4th team in the NFC North. Detroit's better than they are. Green Bay's better than they are.
Yes.
I don't think the Vikings are better than they are, but you probably do. And so if you think there are 3 teams better in your own division, then no, I don't think Chicago has a better chance. I think
with you.
The Giants.
I'm with you. It is the Giants. Congratulations. I am with you on that. The Giants have a better chance than the Bears. I can't believe you don't like Caleb Williams, though. I mean, who do you like outside of Jaden Daniels?
I love Jaden Daniels.
Is there anybody outside of Jaden?
I like your quarterback. I think Bo Nix is a legit NFL quarterback.
Right.
I like Josh Allen. I like Mahomes. Who else? You know how much I love Matthew Stafford. I mean, Matthew Stafford could be on my team any day of the week.
But out of these rookies, I mean, you just throw these guys out like Caleb Williams. He's average.
Did you see anything above average in him last year?
Well, I mean, it's the Bears. It's the Bears.
Okay, so then even more to our point that the Giants have a better chance because it's the Bears.
There it is. I love that. We're going to have to do this again. Maybe I'll flip it now so I can be the guy next week on the Broncos.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll flip that.
I like that.
Can I talk with sense, not emotion? You're a little emotional tonight, especially with the Vikings. Serving up, the Vikings have a worse chance than the Giants. It's amazing.
They don't have a quarterback. You don't make the playoffs without a quarterback.
I wonder if we're going to get some bets on this. People are interested on the text line to bet you on some of this. Better chance of making the playoffs. The Giants will have a better chance than the Bears. You heard it here first. Hey, I've got this next. Do we want Congress and presidential commissions involved in sports? We'll discuss next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale is on now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window. Plus enjoy no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Get an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
Something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
This Mother's Day, treat Mom to a brunch she'll never forget at the Box Elder Event Center. Sunday, May 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Enjoy favorites like prime rib, grilled salmon, French toast, a kids station, and endless desserts. Capture memories with our photo backdrop, stunning balloon arches, and sweet fluff organic cotton candy. And hero moms, active military, first responders, and teachers get in free. Reservations are required. Visit thebox.live before it's sold out.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Hey, thanks for being here. The Nate Brown Show is live. Thursday happy hour is on Fox Sports Radio. This is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. You found us. Thanks for listening on the radio side. You can catch us on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. You've got every show live and archived. Also, we're streaming on X right now on your phone at Nate Brown Show on X. Welcome in. Rob Kegron in studio every Thursday. Skybox is the place in Rapid City, your sports headquarters. The best drinks, the best deals, the best games at the Skybox downtown. Main Street, right above the firehouse. Hit it. Some listeners reacting to Rob saying the Giants have a better chance than some of these teams of making the playoffs. I love your optimism. I mean, you must be having a good day. Sometimes you have a bad day. You must be having a good day because you're just so positive today. And listeners said... mark it down. The Vikings will not only make the playoffs, this is on the listener text line, the Vikings will make the playoffs. They'll beat your Giants by 10 in New York. Write it down. He says, write it down.
I don't know if you know this, guys, but we have one of the most stout defensive fronts in football right now. And you don't have a quarterback.
Here, we're going to save this audio. We're going to save you saying that J.J. McCarthy's not a quarterback because Kevin O'Connell may think he is. He must think he is a quarterback. So I don't know. We'll see. Kevin's done pretty good with quarterbacks last time I looked.
Is there any chance I can look like a fool 2 years in a row with Minnesota Vikings quarterbacks?
You're starting off anyway. You're starting off on a good path. By the way, let's get into this different topic. So here's what I ask people a lot. On this show, I asked the audience, I said, when do you want politicians to help sports? And you're like, 98% of the time they say never. They say never. Yet I've been getting a little bit of feedback here that's like, well, maybe we should look at college sports with politicians to step in because nobody can figure it out. The NCAA can't. They're getting sued. They're scared. They just let this thing go wild. So the Presidential Commission. Now, I know everything's controversial. You're either in or out. There is no nuance. There is no in between. I'm willing to say, can Nick Saban on the Presidential Commission, can Nick Saban, who's the co-chair, get into looking at the current state of college sports? Are you willing to let that go?
I'm absolutely willing. I mean, what is more inefficient than the United States government? The NCAA. It really is.
Up there. It's up there.
The NCAA is maybe the most poorly run organization in the country, right? And for an organization that prints money, they haven't been able to figure out their biggest issue on their own. Now, do I think the United States government is necessarily well equipped to get involved and fix this situation? I don't know. But I will say that sometimes the government can spur action at the very least. I go back and think of like the whole steroids thing in MLB, and there were all of those hearings, and it really did help clean up baseball and get that stuff knocked out of it. I mean, you remember those, like McGuire going up there and answering
Rafael
questions.
Palmeiro.
Yeah, at the very least, getting called before Congress can often get something going. And so I think if there is a way that the government can bring some of the great minds and the great leaders in college football and basketball and get them together to really brainstorm how to fix the problem. Because if you don't admit it's a problem, you're lost, right? It is a huge problem. As you know, and we've talked about in the show a lot, I'm all for the players getting paid. I do not have a problem with that side at all. But it's the Wild West. Right?
Unlimited free agencies. That's how I list. People that know the NFL, it's unlimited free agency with No rules on pay, no rules on contracts. You can just go wherever for whatever, and it's unstoppable.
You have to come up with some kind of framework, some kind of guidelines, some kind of guardrails to make this work, because it can work. It can be very beneficial for the players and the programs, but it shouldn't be so detrimental to the programs where they can't count on who's going to be on their team year to year. I mean, didn't we talk about this last week or the week before? The entire Baylor basketball team is gone. The entire team.
Right.
How is that good for a sport?
Nope.
How is that good for anyone involved?
And it's happening to the South Dakota States of the world. They have to build their roster dang near every year. I mean, they're losing guys to Kansas and UCLA and along the way. So it's a killer for the small schools. It's a killer for some of the big schools. So I'm willing to let Nick Saban. I don't know if you love Nick Saban or not. I kind of have taken. Here's what I respect Nick, and I don't think he's doing this out of this is for me, Nick. I think he's actually probably a little more old school than some people would want. But I'm willing to think Nick Saban's probably trying to get this right.
Absolutely. First of all, Nick is a bright guy. He knows he's not going to be able to stop. Like, the train's already gone down the track, right? Like, you're not going to now stop transfers. You're not going to stop nil. You're not. He knows that. What ended up frustrating him was how hard he had to work on that as opposed to actually coaching football.
Right.
And you can get that. If you're a purist, the last thing you want to be involved in is trying to figure out how I'm going to sign all these guys or keep all these guys. But who would be good is someone who has some common sense about him. And I think that's Nick Saban, where he's going to say, all right, let's come up with some practical solutions to this problem. I think there are probably other guys like him who would do the same thing. I would think of a Coach K, something like that on the basketball side. There are some guys who have a lot of success who clearly want the best for their particular sport in college athletics. 100%. Let's get smart people who are dedicated to the history and the future of their game and put them together in a room, and they'll figure out solutions.
Okay, but that's my question. This is a great presidential commission. Nick Saban and this big donor out of Texas Tech, Cody Campbell, they're going to co-chair it because he's a big name, image, and likeness donor and the chairman of the board of trustees at Texas Tech. So a couple of guys here. Will they solve it? Because you got to have the power conferences and the power commissioners and the ADs say, yeah, we're willing to do this and that. And I don't know if they are. I mean, they want all the money. They want the power. I think the big dogs want, hey, we want it our way. There's a lot of people complaining, but will they do anything?
Well, I think, and this could be where having the government involved could actually help, right? I mean, let's be fair. If two conferences have all the power, and I don't want to get into the weeds here, but there's some antitrust violations that you can really threaten against them. There's monopoly, collusion.
Yeah.
There are things where you can push them like, we have to come up with a fair system. So either you guys are going to accept and compromise, and maybe we're going to have to give in some as well, or we're gonna come after you, right? You can't just eliminate how many of these other programs because you've decided that you two conferences, and of course I'm talking about the SEC and the Big Ten, you can decide everything because you have the most power.
I got a listener text from he has an idea here, 605-720-1067, how you text the Nate Brown Show. Listener text, Nate, I believe Congress could make NIL offers public. There's too many discrepancies on how the players are, how much they're getting offered. So if they made it public, then every school would know what the actual offer is, and the public would know. That would help clean some things up. So could you make the NIL offers public? Would that help kind of at least just, he says, I'm getting $1 million offer from X school, so Y school needs to make a better offer, and it's transparency. Maybe it's a little transparency. I don't know if that helps clean it up or not.
Yeah, I think anytime you have some level of transparency, you have a level of accountability, right? And that works both ways, right? Right. So it works on the school side because we've seen incidents where school promises one thing, doesn't actually deliver, but it also works for the player. Hey,
right.
You signed that, right?
And I believe you got to hold them accountable. If they bail on that, that should not be their money. They can't take $500K of a payment and then decide to go somewhere else. Right?
I told you this was a week or two ago. I'm like, I'd sue the guy. I'd absolutely sue the pants off him. If you leave, take our money, and don't play for us,
you can't have that.
We're going to sue you. You're entering into a contract. It would be no different for a professional athlete who stops showing up to work. They're not going to let you have we're not going to pay you, right? And if we've paid you up front, we're going to come after that money.
I think you gotta do some of this stuff. So Nick Saban's involved in it. I asked the audience, do you believe in a presidential commission to study the current state of college sports? Listeners have voted 55% yes, it's needed. 45% no, they won't solve anything. We're coming right back. Rob Kagron's from New York City. If he told us which pro sports team should you have season tickets for if you live in a big city, which one should you buy season tickets for and attend regularly? We'll discuss next.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale is on now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window. Plus enjoy no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Get an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
City forecast. Partly cloudy tonight with a low of 55. Southwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. A blend of clouds and sun again tomorrow. Slight chance of thunderstorms. 77. Tomorrow night 52. Clear skies and dry Saturday and Sunday. Mid-80s Saturday. Low 90s by Sunday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 75.
Chatting with Brian at Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. Well, time to see how your car will weather the winter.
That it is. Let's make sure your vehicle is ready to handle the warm months ahead.
Being a AAA and ASE certified shop, I know you guys are well equipped to do just that.
Justin and our techs have all the experience you need in diagnosing and repairing whatever may be ailing your vehicle.
And if finances are tight for customers, you can help there?
Yes, we can. We offer the AutoPass card, which has really been a huge help for people who are in dire need of repairs. Call us with any questions on this program, or you can get an answer in minutes right from our homepage at anytimeanytime.com. Just click the AutoPass Apply Now button.
What a great option for those who have repairs that just can't wait.
Absolutely. It's been a fantastic opportunity for many people.
Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail, everybody. The place to trust. Your complete AAA and ASE certified automotive repair specialist. See anytimeanytime.com and at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? This is State Farm Agent Matt McCormick. Let me help you simplify and get to a better state. With me handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. Even more money, too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and get to a better state with State Farm. 348-0464.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
All right, fun one tonight. Hope you've had a great Thursday. It's always a great day in South Dakota. The motto of the show, do you know that? Motto of the show. Great day in South Dakota. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is live on Fox Sports Radio. Thursday happy hour is presented by the Skybox. If you haven't hit the Skybox, I tell you, it's the place for sports in Rapid City, no doubt, right above the firehouse, Main Street, Rapid City. Hey, if you're listening across the state, you come to the Black Hills this summer. Memorial Day's coming up, the start of summer. Stop by the Skybox. Stop by the Firehouse downtown. It's a great place. Let's see. I asked this question the other day because the Milwaukee Brewers were doing a promotion where they're giving away free hot dogs for season ticket holders. Giving away free hot dogs. And then they decided to charge the tax on the free hot dogs of 63 cents.
I mean, season ticket holder in baseball, 81 games, right? Thousands upon thousands of dollars. Give them this silly hot dog.
They decided to reverse course yesterday. Say, okay, we're going to give you the hot dog. It's part of the deal. So I said, this is interesting. Would I buy season tickets if I lived in a big city? When I traveled around, I'd go to games. And that's one thing I tell my kids. They're like, man, I'd love to go to games. And they would love that. We love living in South Dakota. There's a reason I don't live in New York and Chicago and stuff. All the benefits of living in small towns, small state. But if I'm in a big city, I would have season tickets. And I said, which team should you get your season tickets for? Which pro sports league is a must-have season tickets from New York City, Rob Kegron? Who would you? I mean, I say NFL. I have to have the Broncos. I have to have the Vikings, wherever you live. So you got to have NFL, but your Sundays are locked then. You're locked. Which team are you getting season tickets for?
Yeah, I wouldn't go football.
What?
No, I would not. Football to me is a sport to be watched on the television, and I go to games, and you and I have actually been to games together. Yes. But I prefer watching football at home than I do going to a game for a couple reasons. One is I just don't think it translates because you're just in one part. You don't see all of the action. You can't really, when they're trying to get 1 yard and the play's nowhere near you, you have no idea if they made the play or not. You end up watching it on the screen. But beyond that, there are other games going on that I want to watch, right?
You're a big other game guy. You're popping around.
I have 2 TVs set up in my media room. And so I have 8 boxes, like four on the top, 4 on the bottom. I'm trying to watch all 8 games at 11 o'clock in the morning. I try to watch all 4 or 5, whatever it is, in the late window. So I get the tailgate and it's experience, and having season tickets to football, it's only 8 or 9 games. I understand it, but for me, it's baseball. For me, it's a no-brainer.
It is.
It would be the Yankees for sure, and I'm not a Yankee fan.
It's 80 games.
You're not going to go to 80, right? If you have the season tickets, maybe you go to half, you give some away, you sell some, or you try to sell a bunch to make some of the money back. But baseball in the middle of the summer, right, where there's nothing else going on, you go to, particularly nowadays with how baseball has moved so much faster, where you're not committing necessarily 4 hours like you would have a number of years ago. Now it's 2.5 hours, 2:45, something like that. It's nice weather. You're sitting outside, cold beer, and baseball is very conducive to watch in person. I
agree with that.
I am all for, and when you have that many games, you can take a lot of different people there with you, right? You only have 8 games in football. If I have 4 season tickets, I'm going to take different people all the time to those Yankee games.
Good argument. A lot of games, I wouldn't want to worry about having to sell the tickets all the time and the headache there. A lot of games in the summer, I understand, but you got to go into the stadium again and the parking and the whole mess that many times. It's like, I'm going to pass on that. I'm going to go NFL, and I went NBA because you're going to get a lot of games there. You're going to get stars, we hope.
Yep.
Winter entertainment. So I went NBA. No? Like Knicks tickets? You wouldn't? Madison Square Garden? Would that be a headache for you to go to?
No, it wouldn't be that much of a headache. It's, I guess with the NBA, particularly when you're relying on the other player coming in and you want to see them, it's just too often that they take those games off.
Yeah.
And that would frustrate me a whole lot. I think if I were...
expensive, too. NBA is expensive.
I mean, Knicks tickets are insanely expensive. Like, the problem I have with the season ticket argument with a Knicks ticket is you might spend like $150 a seat and be sitting on the top level, right? And basketball with that smaller court, it's not really like you can sit in the second level at a baseball stadium and still feel like you're getting a pretty good experience. Can't do that in basketball. So in New York, I would always pick the Yankees. I think it'd be a little different if I were in a different big city. Although I would say your Cubs for sure. If I lived in Chicago,
I know. I'm like
the friendly confines.
Would I go to Wrigley?
Many afternoon games?
That's good stuff.
I'd be all into that.
That's good stuff. Our audience voted 54% would buy NFL season tickets. The NFL Sundays are locked in. MLB came in second in our poll. MLB came in second. NBA third, and then all if I can afford it.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice.
I would try to do all. I'm not sure if my family would would go for that, but
very expensive in New York.
I would try to do all. Rob Kagrod in studio every Thursday. It is Happy Hour presented by the Skybox Fun Stuff. If you missed this show or part of the show, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every show is there. Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts. The Nate Brown Show in the books. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here next week.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.